Hello there, my lovelies. Brady here again, ready for another week. And let me tell you, this week got some real bangers for you. And some mash. You know, bangers and mash. British food. Which is actually, British food is pretty awful, but hey, got some cool entertainment stuff, so hey. Reviews versus the world. Alright, so this week, let's start off with TV. And there's no better place to start with TV than Resident Alien. Now, if you don't know what this show is, it's basically Alan Tudyk, who is a national freaking treasure, playing an alien who is sent on a mission to destroy all mankind, because hey, mankind is pretty awful. However, when he arrives to Earth, he crash lands, and all the tools that he needs to destroy mankind are kind of lost. And so he's stranded, and he ends up finding this doctor, and assuming the doctor's identity in this small town of Patience, Colorado. And, well, hilarity ensues. This show is awesome. It really does well in diving deep into just what mankind is. And of course, you know, yeah, the stereotypical, he finds that maybe mankind's not all so bad, but maybe we also kind of are. One of my favorite things about the show is his nemesis is a 10-year-old boy. And just the rivalry that those two have is awesome. Alan Tudyk's performances, I mean, this man is a genius. And no one does physical work quite like Alan Tudyk these days. And I cannot recommend this show enough. Definitely go and check it out. Next, let's go over to the reality competition side of things with The Hustler. Now, The Hustler is with Craig Ferguson, who you'll probably know from all of his late night antics back in the 90s, 2000s. And so The Hustler is a trivia show that has a very clever twist to it. Basically, the way that it goes is you have 4 people that all have to agree on the same answer every round. And if you get the answer right, then you get money. However, there is one person of the 4 that is the hustler. And they are the hustler because they already know all of the answers. Throughout the game, you end up getting it down to just 3 people. And these 3 people then have to decide among them which of those 3 is the hustler. If they guess right, then the 2 remaining get to split whatever money is there. If they get it wrong, then the hustler gets everything. This show is very clever. It's fun. I cannot say good enough things about it. Sometimes you need just dumb, entertaining shows, and this is definitely one of them. I can't recommend it highly enough. Definitely go check out The Hustler. Quick amendment, there's actually 5 people that it starts with, and then The Hustler gets rid of 1 every 3 questions. So yeah, goes from 5 to 4 to 3. But anyway, yeah, still check it out. Next, let's move over to games. And this week, the game that I've been playing most is Bravely Default 2. Now, I'm somebody who was, you know, kind of born and raised on all of the classic JRPGs, Japanese RPGs. So things like Final Fantasy VI, which in my heart will always be Final Fantasy III, because that's how it was released on the Super Nintendo over here. Chrono Trigger. Super Mario RPG. Basically, all those Super Nintendo RPGs are kind of my baseline for gaming. And so Bravely Default 2 comes along, and it harkens back to the Super Nintendo era of games so well. And it is so comforting. It's like a warm blanket of RPG goodness. And I can't get enough of it. Now, you know, I will say the story, it's pretty stereotypical. I mean, you know, 4 warriors of light out to save the world, and crystals are involved. So it's very, very much early Final Fantasies as far as that's concerned. The art style is... the enemies look great. The characters, not as much. I mean, the chibi effect, some people really enjoy it. I don't get it, especially in this game. But the gameplay, the way that the battles go, and you have this brave and default system where you can store up battle points and use those battle points to do more than one action around. However, if you don't have enough battle points, you can go into the negative and then basically be stuck for a few rounds while the enemy just wails on you. So it's this real risk reward that I absolutely love. I think that Bravely Default 2 is one of the best RPGs that has come out in a long time. I'd say since probably Octopath Traveler, which is one that I absolutely love and has just the god tier soundtrack. Bravely Default 2's soundtrack, also pretty good. But yeah, check out Bravely Default 2. It's nice. And then I've also dived back in this week to Hitman 3. So I'm weird. I'm weird because I didn't get Hitman 3 on my Xbox Series X or my PlayStation 4. Oh, no. I didn't get it on PC. No. I got the cloud streaming version on the Nintendo Switch because I love the Switch. You know, I talk about this every week, but I love the versatility of the platform. And even though the cloud version, you know, it requires a constant internet connection because you have to be able to basically stream the game that is being really, you know, processed somewhere else across the country. But it works really, really well. I'm impressed with the technology, but you know, that's all beside the point because I want to talk about Hitman 3 because the game itself is awesome. Basically, what you have with these modern Hitman games is you have these clockwork levels where you have your NPCs, you know, they have their routines and different things that you can do can really mess up those routines. But it lends itself to such creativity because as you learn what is going on, the point of the Hitman games is to play these levels over and over and over again in different ways. And one thing that I've been doing is I have taken just one level, which is actually a Hitman 2 level, where it's just the shortest level in the game, but I've been going through and I've been systematically trying to beat all of the challenges. So basically trying to do all of the hits that you can possibly do in this level, and it has been a blast. I cannot get enough of these games. I can't talk highly enough about them. Honestly, this is my favorite game of the year so far. Of course, there's a long way to go in 2021 still, but Hitman 3 is awesome, and it works on the Switch. The cloud version is great. I can't recommend it highly enough. Next, let's talk a little bit about books, because I started a pretty good book this week, and that is Red Rising. Now, Red Rising isn't what I expected. For some reason, I looked at the cover, I just kind of glanced at it, I looked at recommendations from other people that I really trust, and I thought, oh, okay, this is YA fantasy. But it's not. It's actually more sci-fi because it takes place, hundreds of years in the future where we have colonized Mars, and then there's this caste system based on colors. And, the reds are the lowest of the low. And Red Rising is obviously the story about, hey, a revolution. And who doesn't love a good revolution? Now, I'm not very far in it yet, but I do love the style. And I'm listening to it on an audiobook, and I will always take a great Irish accent, and that's exactly what you get in this audiobook. And it's very soothing. Like, oh, just give me all the Irish. Just give it all to me, and I'll take it. And lastly, I want to talk a little bit about Raya and the Last Dragon. Now, I'm always a big fan of Disney. They have Marvel, they have Star Wars. I'm going to follow them anywhere. But their animation division has been just on fire lately. And, Raya and the Last Dragon is probably the best movie that I've seen in the last year. And that's even higher than Soul, which is saying a lot to me. And the thing that really gets me with this movie is the animation is amazing, and it gives you action, and it gives you very well directed action. I mean, it feels like the next evolution of action from something like Avatar: The Last Airbender, which, if you know me, that is very, very high praise. And this movie has the humor, it has such beautiful landscapes, such a rich and endearing world, and I ended up taking, my wife and I ended up taking all 4 of our kids to the movie theaters to see it. Yes, we were safe. We followed all safety protocols. Don't worry. No one has the COVID. And then we bought it on Disney Plus for $30. So, I mean, all in all, without even considering popcorn and drinks, I spent over $90 on this movie, and it's worth it. It's worth it. It is an outstanding film, and you owe it to yourself to go and watch it. Seriously, just go watch it. And that's really it for this week. I'm trying a few different things with the editing, so, I've been trying to take all of your feedback and really implement it. So tell me what you think about that. But in the meantime, if you have any suggestions of things that you want me to check out to see what my opinion is on it, make sure that you comment below. And of course, like, subscribe, all that jazz. You know how it goes. This is YouTube.
Review!